Yo, 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 coming at you with the new episode of Watch It Out with Jay and MJ. I'm Jay.
I'm MJ, and I just okay.
You're welcome.
Have you been?
love that.
You've eaten canes,
What?
like canes in the drive-through,
In the drive-thru?
like go through the drive-through of canes.
Have I gone through the drive-thru games?
Yes,
Yeah, what are you
your
asking me?
your intro just reminded me of like those like sayings like yo yo yo, what chicken you picking?
Oh, yeah, the,
You clucking or you fucking?
that is stupid. No, it was, hey, with some chicken today. And then there's,
They had a weird one the other day with me and Emily. I don't remember what it was. It was something clucking.
It's like kicking, what combo you pick in, or chicken, what combo you pick in.
There was something with clucking the other day that we went through, and I was like, what are you saying?
Well, you know.
That's what that intro reminded me of.
You know, their chicken really isn't that great.
Like
I think about it, and I'm like, I could have bred this at home.
It is very subpar recently.
If you need that much sauce for it to be good, then is it even good?
Well, and here's the only thing I don't get, and this is a random tangent. It's either really, really, really good, like the breading sticks, it's crunchy, and the sauce is delicious.
Correct.
Or, which is about 80% of the time, the breading's falling off because of the steam.
Mm-hmm.
Or, for some reason, the chicken is like thick and it has a weird texture.
Yes.
I don't understand why.
Like it has the weird chill.
Yeah.
Like it's got it's got a bite.
Yeah.
Yeah, like it's not like it's like, ooh, look, I just bit into my chicken. It's like, oh, that bite was weird.
Which is like usually when you overcook chicken and it gets gummy. It's like the best way.
To me, that makes me feel like it's undercooked because there's like shit in it.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Maybe.
I don't know.
Sorry, random dig on canes there.
Chicken combo you picking.
Let's talk about the docket.
Yeah. So, I remember playing Halo in college. We've talked about this before.
Why are we talking about Halo?
Because I saw your case over there for Halo and Halo 2.
Oh, yeah. I'm trying to sell those. I don't really play them. I don't have anything to play them on.
You have an Xbox?
That's like the original Xbox.
Oh. They don't have like backwards compatibility? Did I use that term right?
Yeah.
Do they not have backwards compatibility?
The newer ones I'm not sure about, but I don't know if they go all the way back to original Halo. But you also have digital copies on Xbox Live if you want them. So well, I don't need the disc for yeah.
So today, we are going to chat about. Honestly, we're probably just gonna like shoot the shit for like a good 5 minutes, but after that, we have a new TV Party of 3 coming at you, and we are reviewing. I was gonna say NBC Peacock original Poker Face. Pop poker face. Pop poker face. Nah.
You're on a little tangent with some songs this morning.
You're welcome.
Okay.
Yeah. So I did have something I wanted to say.
Oh, go on. Yes. Before our party of 3.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I think I've forgotten what it was.
You forgot your subject?
I did.
Can we talk about I just want to bring up and just a quick question because you've seen Cocaine Bear recently, and I went and saw Creed 3.
Yeah,
so we've been seeing some movies recently.
Yeah.
What is the point of Cocaine Bear? Also, I believe it's supposed to be in Kentucky, is what the true story's based on.
Well, I don't know if it's in Kentucky, but I know the cop or the person that died was from Kentucky, I believe.
Okay.
And I think the story goes, honestly, this is very vague and I'm probably incorrect.
Yeah.
But I think there was a dirty cop, I guess, who was transporting cocaine.
Okay.
And I guess he was doing it in a plane.
Yeah.
I mean, he was doing it in a plane. And I think the plane was like, not going to make it.
Oh, so that's how
he started throwing all the cocaine out of the plane. And then he
intending to go
jumped
pick
out
it
of
up
the plane.
later.
And I don't know if his chute didn't go out. I don't know what happened.
Yeah.
But he died. And apparently, like, they still haven't found any of that cocaine.
Oh, God.
Or maybe they have, and they have only found like a little bit of it. I'm not sure. But this is basically just taking the movie just basically takes that whole like premise. And the way they show it is they tell us the guy who was doing the cocaine, basically like he died because he was high on cocaine and then he hit his head on the way out of the plane.
Oh, God.
And didn't eject his parachute.
Okay.
But now the point is just like, I also think that they may have found a dead bear that may have gotten into some cocaine, possibly.
So they did like a toxicology screen on a bear to see if he had cocaine in his system?
I don't remember the actual story. It's hard to know.
So my whole point of asking,
remember,
I'm trying to decide if I want to go see it.
I think it depends on your kind of humor, because I will say there were definitely some funny parts.
Okay.
I mean, there are people in it that I love. Like I really like Kerry Russell. I really like Margot Martindale.
Okay.
Like those actresses are people that I'm like, oh, well, of course, I'll give it a shot. And also, I didn't have power.
That's the reason you went to see Cocaine Bear.
I was like, it's either that, Ant-Man, or Creed 3 at that point, and we were just like, I kind of want to laugh. I can't watch anything too depressing.
Well, Ant-Man wasn't depressing. It was just...
Well, I didn't mean I wanted to laugh. I wanted something that was going to that I knew was probably going to most likely
that was comedy. Okay,
I didn't want anything too serious. I didn't want anything where I was going to pay attention. I just wanted to escape my powerless apartment for a couple of hours.
Okay.
And I laughed a little bit. Like, it was cute.
Okay, I've chosen to see all the other ones, like the Ant-Mans and the Creeds recently.
Yeah, I mean, is it cinematic gold? No. Was it more gory than I thought it was going to be? Yeah.
I think you explained it like if the lens was turned just a little bit, it could have been like a dark humor Cujo.
Yeah, I was thinking like it could have easily been like a Cujo type situation. Like like if they had like turned the comedy dial off and made it a little dark. Like it definitely could have been something of that nature based on like some of the gore.
Okay.
But there were some standout like funny parts and funny performances and stuff that I thought was kind of cool. There's that guy that looks like fucking Ice Cube.
Oh, I thought that was Ice Cube.
No, it's not. He looks exactly like Ice Cube.
Okay, I'm gonna look this up. Who this is?
And I was like, "Who is that man who looks like Ice Cube?" And I just couldn't get it out of my brain because I thought Ice Cube was in it. And when I saw the previews, I was like, "Oh, Ice Cube's in it." And then the more I watched the preview, I'm like, "That's not fucking Ice Cube. Ice Cube's like 50."
All right, let's see. Who is this? This guy, David. Is that the
O'Shea Jackson Jr. So is his real name, but. Yeah,
looks straight up like Ice Cube.
I mean, he looked like Ice Cube in this movie. I think it was the hair. He was giving
because he played young Ice Cube in Straight Outta Compton, like he's supposed to. Like he's the Okay,
that makes sense.
Yeah,
look at us, parallels. Was that your only question?
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to talk about Creed 3 in case you go see it because I don't want to ruin anything for you.
I want to see y'all at Jonathan Major's body,
which he has covered up pretty much the entire movie.
That's fine. I know what's under it. Pop into that tune.
Which, I mean, Michael B. Jordan and him pretty much covered the entire movie.
I mean, that's fine. I mean, Michael B. Jordan is great, but if Jonathan Majors is there, Michael B. Jordan is like is a whisper to me.
This might be. I need to go double check. This might be Michael B.'s directorial debut.
I might be like Michael B. Who? Jonathan Majors is there. Michael B. Who?
Majors is massive in this movie.
Yeah, pretty sure he is.
Okay, cool. We'll talk about Creed after.
That's a euphemism for penis.
Double entendre that we went to a single entendre?
I don't know. I don't want to sexualize him that way. That's rude.
Oh my God.
It is.
Okay, fair enough.
It's rude. I think he's a great actor.
His acting shines.
He was the best part of Loki. I think we said this.
Yes.
Like we were like, how did this man come into the last episode of Loki for 10 minutes and like blow everybody's acting out of the water? Well, and we all know I love Tom Hiddleston.
Well, and what was the Showtime show we saw him in?
It was a Lovecraft Country. That was HBO Max.
Which was it HBO? Okay, that was awesome as well. His acting was great in that.
Yeah. Twas. This is coming out after the Oscars, but have you seen any of the Oscar movies? I know we're a TV show podcast, but we have to talk about this.
I haven't. I haven't
seen everything everywhere all at once.
Nope.
Okay, I got through 3/4 of it.
Is that the the multiverse kind of?
Yeah,
okay.
I'll tell you when I stopped watching this movie. I stopped watching the movie when I guess the portal. I'm gonna call it a port key because it's Harry Potter.
Mm-hmm.
When the portal was an award, somebody's award that looked like a dildo that they had to sit on. Like that's what I was like. You lost me, and I stopped. Yes, you heard that right. That's when I stopped. Because then I was like, okay, what are we doing here? And I think I was just I think I was like, I was intrigued. I was like, okay, you've got me. And then when it happened, I was kind of like, do I really need to finish this? And I just didn't.
So looking at the nominees for Best Picture, I've seen Top Gun.
And Top Gun doesn't need to be a Best Picture nomination. It wasn't that great.
Well, and here's my only complaint is The Fabelmans, I want to go see it. It looks really good to me. That's the new Steven Spielberg movie.
Boring.
I want to see that one. Triangle of Sadness. I don't remember the preview, but I've seen it once, like the preview of it.
I don't know what that's about, but if it's a Triangle of Sadness, is that the Bermuda Triangle?
No, I think it's an Irish story.
Like the Banshees of Inisherin?
Possibly. That might be what I'm thinking of.
Why are there so many Best Movie nominees? I don't understand. Like, if everybody is nominated, then nobody's nominated. Like, just make 5. Just make it back to 5. Why does it need to be 10?
Well, here, like, it's such a like random selection. Like,
it doesn't even have to be that. It's like look, I think what they're doing is they're making it. They made it so they could include more movies. So like, you're including more movies, but we know that half of these movies would never win. So why are we including them?
Shits and giggles.
Whatever, it's stupid. I don't care about the Oscars, to be honest.
Then why did you bring it up?
I don't remember. Daylight Savings Time is stupid. We'll talk about that.
Isn't this not the last season we're having it?
I don't know.
Did they pass the bill to get rid of it?
I don't know. They're too busy trying to kick drag queens out of whatever.
I was trying to avoid that conversation.
Yeah, that's dumb.
Okay.
Fucking stupid.
No, I completely disagree with the bill. I just didn't want to get into the drama of it on the podcast.
Oh, I'm just no. There's no drama of it. It's stupid. It doesn't make any sense.
It is stupid.
We have literal priests who are fist fucking kids, and they're worried about drag queens. It makes no sense.
May I apologize to everybody listening and watching currently? I was not aware that we were going to be talking about fisting today.
We're not talking about it. I just made it was hyperbole, yes, but like, there's always a local pastor raping some kid, and I don't understand why there's really legislation on that bullshit. But drag queens are literally just like, I don't know, having fun and getting doulas, and we want to act like they're like the demon incarnate. It's stupid. It doesn't make any sense. It is so like, there's no real basis for it. Like, I understand people who are like, I like abortion because religion or because of pro-life and blah blah blah. It's stupid, but I get it. There is no real reason. It's like, why drag queens? To protect children from what?
I'm giggling internally because my mother randomly watches these, and I feel like I should put a warning up like right before that section, but I'm not going to.
Hey, that's between you and your God, or gods, depending on how many you worship or if you do it at all. So everybody,
TV party.
I'm weird today. I don't know what it is. I'm sorry. I mean, I'm not sorry, but
sorry, not sorry. I get it. Sometimes you got to get things off your chest.
I don't really have anything I need to get off my chest. I think I came in kind of in a bad mood. Like, I came in kind of quiet.
You did.
Yeah, and I think now I'm just trying to like force myself out of that.
Enliven it up a little bit by talking about.
I mean, that's one thing I really can't get behind. Like,
or in front of.
Like, I can't.
You just can't get in front of it.
Don't Google it. I'm just I have stumbled accidentally into a scene once when I was watching something, and I've been like, nope, this is not for me.
Did you watch last week tonight's episode? I think it was 2 weeks ago, where they talked about DeSantis.
Yes.
And the girl who was introducing him on one of his conferences says that he gives BDE, and her comment was, if you don't know what that is, ask your children later.
Yeah, it was fucking Carrie Lake. Protect the children. Fuck her.
Why would you sit here and tell your constituents to ask your children what's BDE?
Who's grooming who? These people. I'm out. I can't. Can't be involved.
All right. Hey. I'm really in. I'm gonna.
Don't do that shit with me.
You snapped at me this week.
This ain't slavery time. You don't just do this whole rope thing. You say what that ain't. What
you snapped at me this week.
When did I snap at you about what?
When I was about to walk away to get a drink of water, and you were like,
When?
At Thursday.
I think that's a lie.
Me, you, and Ben all witnessed it.
That's a lie. So TV party after you guys. We are since Poker Face is basically a procedural.
Which, not true, but it is.
Yeah, it's a procedural. We were like, you know what? When we talk about procedurals, what are some of our favorites? Who is our party of three? Who's sitting at our table? The procedurals table. Who's sitting at that table? Who's there ordering with the menu?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like, when you think of procedurals, though, even if you haven't watched it, what pops into your mind?
Literally CSI.
Yeah. NCIS, Law and Order, SVU, STF, STD.
A, B, C, D, E, F, G.
I think of, if you want to go old school, I think of like A Murder, She Wrote.
Okay.
A Murder, She Wrote.
I like
Angela Lansbury. I think of a Perry Mason.
Yeah.
I think of a who's the other side of Perry Mason? Who's the other one?
The Magnum PI.
Magnum PI.
I had to pull that one out.
Yes, so that's what I think about when I think about procedurals.
Okay, so then let's go through. I'll start.
I think about Christopher Melanie's Ayers, even though I never because he's on Law and Order.
Oh,
SVU yes. Origins. I don't know which one.
I think he came back.
Yeah, he's on like a new one. I think it's like Law and Order, Organized Crime, SVU / Drug Ops. I don't know which one.
Emily's making her way through all the Law and Orders right now.
Blue Bloods.
Oh my god.
NCIS, FBI, undercover.
You're literally just naming every procedural that's out there right now.
They're all. I'm like, but how are they different? I don't understand how they're different. Kong Kong.
If only
like, how are they different? I feel like they're all the same. It's just one different department. It's like FBI doesn't have like a fun like, but Law and Order is just synonymous because they have the sound. They have the gong.
Gong gong.
That probably didn't sound like it, but it's fine. But so
but everybody got it.
Yeah. So when you think about it, who are your three like favorite procedurals? I think mine might be a little out of the box.
Okay, so not in any specific order.
Okay.
Oh my gosh, what is it? It's not the Lone Star one, but like 911.
That is one. That is one for me. Actually.
That's right there, top of the list.
Yeah, like it's not like, is it great TV?
No. But it scratches that itch.
But I like it. I mean, I'm like, we've talked about this before, but Bucky and Eddie need to fuck.
You've gone on this tangent a couple times.
Have you seen the newest episode?
Mm-mm. I'm actually probably like 2 seasons back.
Okay, you're not going to forget this because Buck gets struck by lightning last week.
What?
In this episode, and when I tell you, Eddie looked like he was about to burn that place down. He's like, Buck, and I'm like, you guys. They
admit your love.
They need to just do like it doesn't like it isn't even just like we need a gay character because we already have one. Those two belong together.
Like it's bigger than a bromance at this point.
It is.
Okay.
It really it definitely is. I've done this before. I don't want to go too far, but yes, 911 is just that show that like it's comforting me. I'm like I can watch it and not get too deep.
Yeah.
I can see Angela Bassett just
working her magic.
Yep. I can see Peter Krause's daddiness just all over screen, which I love.
I'm happy he's still in it.
Yeah, because I've loved him since 6 Feet Under. And then, just waiting vicariously for Buck and Eddie to get it on. Barrel chicka wow wow.
All right, so
what do you like about it?
What do I like that it's drama enough, but it's not like super heavy.
Yeah, I mean it's a little crazy. Yeah, like a tsunami.
Well, okay, yes, but I know what I'm getting into going into it. I'm not surprised by it.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's I think I really need them to like pull it back a little bit because I think they really are starting to go like I'm starting to lose interest.
Like extravagant.
No, not even that. I think I'm just starting to lose interest. I need them to pull it back. I need them to go back to like their roots a little bit. I think. That's
like the weekly calls.
Not necessarily that either. I think it's just, I don't know. I think some of the storylines are a little like they wasted a whole year on a storyline that they just said, well, I guess not. And I'm like, why don't we go through this for a year? I mean, there's just some things, but I still enjoy it. It's still on that list for me.
Yeah, fair enough. My number 2 would be NCIS.
You actually watch NCIS? What does it stand for? National Community Infrastructure Security.
It's naval. No, it's all naval stuff.
Oh my god, you remember Jag?
And attention,
Jag. It was Judge Advocate General. I think that was a boat win, wasn't it?
Again, it was the Navy.
What, Jag?
Yeah,
that's what I said. Wasn't it a boat win? Weren't they on a boat?
No, they were on a boat. It was literally JAG is the law, like the judicial section, the lawyers of the Navy and the Army.
Really?
That's what JAGs are.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I've never watched it.
I met a JAG.
I feel like I remember like the title screen.
I met a real life JAG at Derby one year.
I didn't like the term. I don't like using that term. I don't like using it. It's too close to fag. I don't like it.
But I like it. It's
so
okay.
What does NCIS stand for?
It's naval. Give me a second.
Naval Community Infrastructure Security. I'm not changing the rest of it. Naval Committee inside the sea.
It stands for Naval Criminal Investigative Service.
Well, that was lackluster. What do you like about NCIS?
Mostly the actors, like the guy who's gone off and done Bull. Now he was on that originally. You have William Valderrama in the newer ones. I like the actors.
Okay. Are there boat rescues? Are there boat rescues?
I'm this close to just sitting back and letting you just have the rest of the hour yourself.
I want to know like what kind of investigative services are there on a boat?
So pretty much if a naval officer ends up dying, they investigate the murder or possible subterfuge or national security issues around the Navy.
Do they have that many naval officers that get murdered? That sounds like a lot of murdering.
Well,
that sounds like some inside bullshit.
Or like there was one that's like an older episode where this guy has important American like information, like high classified information that he's trying to sell. They would investigate that because it was a naval officer doing it.
Okay.
So things like that.
Okay. Oh.
but they have like overarching like series long ones where like Criminal Minds, like you might have like a serial killer they go for the whole time.
About Criminal Minds.
Emily's watching it again. That's why I thought. But like that's the things you would do. But it's all naval based.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Number 2 for me, I would say Lucifer. Like Lucifer.
Is that a procedural?
Yeah. It's there's a case of the week.
Okay.
Like there's always like it is very much a procedural in the way of like yes there's usually a plot like a season long like hey here's our thing.
Fair enough.
But every episode, have you watched Lucifer at all?
The couple just here and there with Emily.
So basically, it is about Chloe Decker, who is a detective in the LAPD. No, Las Vegas PD. No, LAPD. One of the
LA.
PDs.
Yeah,
it is LA. Yeah, and Lucifer is
Lucifer. Yeah,
like on Earth, and he's British and he's hot, and he.
Now we know why he watches it.
That's part of the reason. And then when he got on Netflix, and he got never mind, stop. But I mean, there are some annoying parts about it, but basically, they always have a case, and he. Does this little thing where he's like, I'm gonna help you solve the case. And she's like, how? And he goes to look at somebody, he's like, what is it you desire?
Well, isn't it they can't tell a lie when he talks to him? Like he like mesmerizes them almost?
Yeah, he asked him, what is it you really desire?
Oh,
and
okay.
they kind of tell him
you
know what they desire, and that kind of like gets that to be, to a confession or whatever.
Okay.
But like Tom Welling popped up in a season for a while.
I remember he was
supposed to be able.
Yeah, exactly.
And
I saw that's the one I kind of watched a couple of.
Yeah, but there's definitely like a murder of the week, and they go through. Now it got really formulaic for a while. I think when it got to Netflix, it started to change away from that. But it has like DB Woodside, who I love.
Didn't they bring in someone as God?
They brought in I can't remember his name, but we all know Allstate Stan. That's Allstate Stan. Are you in good hands?
Oh my
And he
gosh.
played the president in seasons 1 and 2 and possibly 3 of 24. That guy.
Yep.
Like Dennis Haysbert.
Fair. Okay.
You're welcome. Yeah, he plays God. But I like that show because it really is. I mean, procedural to me, if it's a procedural, it's got to have like a case we're solving every week, and they do have that for majority for Lucifer.
Okay, I wasn't sure. I didn't know it was a week to week thing.
Yeah.
Okay. My third and final is Suits.
Yeah.
It is a weekly trial with an overarching. Yeah, each week you have a different case they had to solve.
Okay.
And then like there might have been an occasional where like, okay, we'll group these 3 together where it's one bigger case. But it was a different case. And then they had the overarching situation of, well, Mike never went to Harvard. Mike never went to and passed the bar. Like they had those issues as well.
I get that. Yeah. Gina Torres was like, I don't watch anything with Gina Torres in it. Like she's amazing to me.
Yeah. But the premise of it all, the fact that it's the acting was good, but the premise of the show is what really brought me in. The fact that once you read something, you understand it. Once you understand it, it never leaves your mind, and you can recite it verbatim. And the fact that he could literally, I think the one that was impressive was there was a class action lawsuit in one season, and he comes in and they ask for an extension, and they had just gotten all the discovery the night before, and the prosecutor goes, "How would you know? You just got like 6,000 pages worth of information last night. You couldn't have read all this." And the judge is like, "Yeah, I don't believe that you would know that like all of this entails you to an extension." And then he goes, "Pick a page, any page, and I'll tell you exactly who is on there, the issue they had." And literally, the judge picks like page 1,247, and he starts just naming like the person, what happened to that person, how they're involved in this, and the judge just goes, like jaw hits the bench. Like just the fact that you have a character who can do that was mesmerizing. Like that pulled me into it.
I get that.
Because you could do so many good things with that, so many bad things with that.
I watched Suits for a while, but I fell out of it. Which is what I do with a lot of things.
It did go on a little longer than I thought it should have.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
See, I thought about maybe doing White Collar, but I thought Suits was better.
I think I stopped watching Suits when Gina Torres left. I think when she left, I was like, My third is Psych.
I never watched it.
And Psych, to me, for those of you who don't know Psych, it was a USA Network show. Suits was as well.
Yeah.
And it was about a guy who he has a basically really good photographic memory. And
he's really observant
in order for him to kind of jokingly, I think to help solve a crime, people weren't listening to him because they didn't take him seriously. So he goes, "I'm a psychic." And they're like, "What?" He's like, "I'm a psychic. It's this, 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 this." Because people would ask, like, "How did you figure that out?" And he's like, "I'm a psychic." So he tells people he's psychic, but he's really just like really good at figuring out, things. So he would always like fake this, like, "Oh my God, I'm having a psychic," like he was
like
always
a migraine kind of thing.
Like, oh no, my hand is going toward, like, he was just like very dramatic about it.
That's funny.
And which every character always like rolled their eyes. Like, so he was working with the Santa Barbara Police Department to help solve crimes.
Do you know the female in that the detective or whatever officer went to Assumption High School?
Oh, really? Yeah, I didn't know that. But then he the other good part of that is I forgot his real name, but he plays Gus Burton.
Yes.
And he's from Dulé Hill. He was from West Wing, and every single time they have a case, Sean's like, "I'm Sean Spencer, psychic detective, and this is my partner, Control Alt Delete." And like every episode, like actually, I had to pull up my phone because
that's great.
The number of names, like every episode, he will be like, "This is my partner, Home Skillet. This is my partner, Bert the Billowy Bear."
Oh no.
One of my favorite ones was like this. My two favorites, honestly, after reading this list, I remember them. Was this is my partner, Shutterfly Simmons, and this is my partner, Felicia Fancy Bottom. Like he was all like, so every time they got to like any kind of like case thing to like do some kind of like questioning or whatever.
Fancy Bottom.
I'm Sean Spencer, psychic detective, and this is my partner, Felicia Fancy Bottom.
I love it.
So
I love it.
But it really, that one did also get redundant, but it was it is procedural. It was a case of the week. And I think they didn't really start having like a real overarching plot to like season 3, but it was funny. It was more of a comedic.
Yeah. It always seemed off as
comedic.
Didn't they have like a sing along episode once? I think.
Yes, I believe that was really, really late.
Okay, because I remember seeing like, oh, it's the Psych sing along. What?
Yeah, and they've had a couple of movies too.
Oh, yeah, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay.
But that's a show that I keep wanting to go back and rewatch. But it's like one of those, like, I look at it, I'm like, this is like 8 seasons. I'm like, this is a lot.
Oh.
But I do want to go back and rewatch it. But that's one of my favorite ones. I always giggled and enjoyed that one.
Okay.
Yeah. So.
Dun dun.
Kong Kong. Was that close?
I just had to do it one more time before.
Close?
Yes, it was close.
You know what, guys? Stay tuned for this week's review of Poker Face. Poker? I don't even know her.
Hey everyone, welcome back to our review this week of NBC original Poker Face. So, real quick breakdown of what this show, kind of like synopsis. Our main character name is Charlie, and the entire show is about Charlie, who has an extraordinary ability to determine when someone is lying. She hits the road with her Plymouth Barracuda, and with every stop encounters a new cast of characters and strange crimes she can't help but investigate and solve.
Correct.
Hence the procedural.
Yes. So, when we talk about cast and crew on this show, since we said she's on the road, meeting a different cast of characters, that means that there's a large cast. Like, the cast changes from episode to episode. So really, our mainstay, playing our main character Charlie Cale, is Natasha Lyonne,
which I remember her from American Pie.
Or Just a New Black. If you want to go really late, if you want to go pre-American Pie, you can do But I'm a Cheerleader.
Russian Doll from Netflix a couple years ago.
Russian Doll. So she's been around.
She does a lot of directing, apparently, from what I read. So she's off the screen too. So she's not just sitting back when she's not acting.
Yeah, and I think Natasha Lyonne is one of those actresses. I think that has like, I think if you cover my eyes and she spoke, I'd be like, that's Natasha Lyonne.
Oh,
like she has a very distinct voice. Like you pick her voice out. I think she's one. I think if I think about like another female actress, I would honestly think of like a Demi Moore.
Yeah,
she's got the little bit of the rasp. Like,
I could see that.
But Natasha Lyonne, she just has that voice. It's always like,
well, it's not raspy. Like I can't think like what to describe it.
It's like she needs to clear her throat.
Yeah,
like it's like a whisper.
It's like a New England, New Yorker, Boston kind of like husky whisper.
Yeah. It's grated cheese.
There you go.
If I may, it's like if her voice was grated cheese. That is like not stale. But like it's not necessarily melty either. Like it's not a melty cheese. It's like a
cheese that's been grated,
like a Parmesan grated cheese. Because you know how Parmesan grated cheese isn't really melty.
Yeah,
but it's good. But it's not. But it's like it's not soft. But it's not like hard. But it doesn't melt.
It is classified as a hard cheese though.
But it doesn't melt.
Yeah,
you know,
it melts, but you got to put a lot of heat behind it.
That's her voice. Okay. She's like her voice is the block of Parmesan like grated.
I get what you're talking about. Okay.
Yeah. You put that in your pocket. So
I don't know.
So, okay. So the show. So this show is like, what's kind of cool about this show, honestly, is the fact that like they've kind of taken this this 70s approach. You know? Like it almost feels like the lens is like the coloring feels slightly 70, like I think back to what was it called, Grindhouse.
Yes, I was gonna say it's definitely got that kind of like grungy, overcast on the lens, a little darker.
Yeah. but it's not set in the 70s. But even her car looks like it was in the 70s. She dresses
I can
like
see that.
She's from the 70s.
Yeah,
you know, but everything around them really is set in time. Which I think that even the graphics are 70, like the bright orange, like poker, like, you know, like even the graphics as far as like the title screen, stuff like that, even that is very 70s.
The other thing that I really reckon, like the thing that it does this is she's always on like the back roads, so you have like towns that haven't really progressed to modern times. So she's in more ancient, older towns. I don't want to say ancient, like older towns that are still like stuck in the 70s a little bit too.
Not really stuck in the 70s. I think what that she's going to towns where you can't really, where it is ambiguous what time of the year. Not what time of the year, but what year it is. Yes. They're not like stuck in a certain time, but you can go to this town and be like, are we in the 70s, 80s, or 90s? And then you see like you see a Mazda Miata, and you're like, oh, well, that's a bad choice. What's a good choice? You see like
look at her car, Barracuda. Like her car is like a 1970 Barracuda.
Right. But you go to this town and you're like, is this town stuck in like the 70s? You're like, no, there's somebody over there with a Kia Sorento, the new body style. You know, like a 2023. Why don't I just add a year? A 23 Mazda Miata. And then you're like, oh no, they're real times. Or you see somebody with a cell phone, and you're like, well, obviously not. So towns that aren't necessarily like super duper.
They're off the grid.
Yeah. That was a lot.
Let's jump into spoilers. Like let's, instead of beating around it, let's just jump into spoilers here and talk about like why she's on the road.
So she is working, like Charlie's like, I work at a casino, and basically what we talked about earlier, where she could tell people are lying, and and it's like
she gets like a feeling.
Yeah, and somebody says something, and she's like, bullshit. Like she basically calls bullshit. Did you ever play Bullshit?
Yeah,
the card game. Mm-hmm. Did you?
I did.
What is it then?
I honestly can't remember, but I remember playing Bullshit.
So Bullshit, you guys. So basically what you do is you...
This 3-hour-long episode of ours.
You would deal the cards to everybody, right?
Yeah.
And then you have your deck of cards, or your hand of cards.
Oh, yeah. And you would say what you have.
And you're trying to get rid of all of your cards.
Yeah.
And the way you get rid of your cards is you say, I've got a 2 of spades. And you're going to put it down. And if everybody believes you...
I always played as like, I would say I have 2 2s. I wouldn't say what they were. I would just say like how many of that.
That part I don't remember. But you would lay down, you like, let's say you had a 2 of spades. You go, I have a 2, or I have a 2 of spades, whichever one. And then everybody be like, okay. And then the next person goes and they go, I've got 2 aces. And then you're like, bullshit. And if they flip over their cards and it's 2 aces, you have to take all the cards in the middle.
Yep.
And if you catch them in the line, they have to take the cards in the middle. Bullshit was fun.
Well, because that's where you had to play it. Because like I always do, like I have 3 kings, and there'd always be that one other person who has like one other king, and the other person who has one other king. So you only technically had 2, but they don't know that each of them have one king. So like, do you call bullshit assuming someone else has another? Like, you have to play the crowd.
I don't know if I was good at that game. I don't remember if I was good. I think I'd be like, I had a friend who'd be like, they'd be like, I have 2 kings. And I'm like, bullshit. Like, you don't. Like, look at your fucking face.
Oh, no. And okay, I remember because do you remember How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days? That was
Vaguely.
that was the game they played when they went to see Matthew McConaughey's family out on like Staten Island.
Oh, okay.
And they like played him because someone stood behind him and like gave her signs of like when he was lying, and because he never lost bullshit.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I think I remember that. Good job.
Yeah.
So yeah, she yells bullshit. She doesn't yell it, but she just says it.
Yeah.
And then she's very open about like, hey, this is just
who I am. It's what I do.
Yeah.
It's hard to explain, but I'm like a human lie detector.
Yeah. So, but when we pick up the story, they've kind of structured every episode the same way, where we focus on a character, and we see them almost for a good third of the episode.
It's like if the episode's like 57 minutes, it's about 20 minutes in before we get to the actual main character.
Before we get to Charlie.
Yeah.
And the first one, we focus on a maid who works in the casino/hotel that Charlie also works in.
Which we don't find out until, again, like 20 minutes in.
Right. So she basically, we kind of see her story of she finds something horrible. She takes it to the owner of the casino/hotel, who is Adrian Brody.
Randomly. Yeah. Like the cast they have in these episodes.
Yeah.
I don't know how they pulled this cast together.
With Benjamin Bratt as like security.
Yeah, exactly.
Who still looks so good. So good.
We'll get to it. We have time to talk about him.
We won't talk about too much. But shows because of what she told the owner, it kind of compromises one of their big money makers.
The thing they found was something on one of their whales, the big roller's computer.
Yeah.
And to cover up what was going on, they say they're going to go to the FBI and go to the police, but they end up killing the maid.
Yeah, they end up murdering her and her boyfriend, husband, whatever.
Yeah.
And try to stage it. And then we end with the murder, and then we go back. We move into it. We go back.
Yeah.
Whoops.
Like normally we'll go back.
Check.
I've seen a couple times where like the first one I think was like 3 days back. I think the longest was like 3 weeks back. Like they range.
Yeah. And so this episode kind of served to also give us the backstory of Charlie.
Yeah.
What her deal is, how she kind of loops into this maid. It kind of knows her and everything like that. And because of she kind of finds out the real reason of why the maid was, murdered. And Charlie, like, not to spoil too much, Charlie ends up going on the run.
Yes. And then so for instance, Sterling Frost, the one played by Adrian
Sterling Frost Jr., played by Adrian Brody.
That's where they, oh my gosh, I don't know how did
Siri's
that
a nosy bitch.
She really is. Somehow we end up getting to the point where Sterling Frost Sr. ends up chasing after Charlie.
Right.
And sends, what's his name?
Benjamin Bratt's character, who's Cliff LeGrand.
Yes.
After her, kind of like he's the muscle.
Exactly.
Which, there's a scene, I'm not going to tell you which episode it's in, there's a scene where Charlie's running down a very narrow hallway.
And a very straight,
Cliff
narrow
LeGrand,
hallway.
Security, the muscle, the bodyguard, can't shoot this bitch down. He shoots a stack of towels.
Well, so let's... Yes, like I said, when he
where are you aiming? He's just like
when he's running after her and quick drawing, like he pulls it and so I get if you're running, you might be doing this, but at one point he stops, double grabs, steadies the gun, and like you said, security. That is just a narrow, straight hallway in a hotel.
He had a box of tampons.
Yes, how do you miss this far left and right when your person is taking up 90% of the hallway?
Fired. So, this is where Charlie goes on the run and somehow picks up odd jobs but to be fair, these are really shit towns.
Well, and so that's the premise is the first one, she kind of you find out that if you use an ATM or something, the average time, like quickest that somebody could find you if they have connections, is like 4 hours. Mm-hmm. So she goes town to town and she tries to find the odd job that pays cash and doesn't ask too many questions.
Right.
But somehow always seems to find the odd town where a murder just happened.
Always.
Like, coincidentally, for a year straight, you stumble across 10 murders in a year.
And not like where they just happen, like the murders happen while she's there.
Well, and because like I said, the first couple times you go back and like she kind of stumbles into it, but I love the fact that in towards the middle of the season, you always because again, it gets procedural. You know it's going to go back, and you're going to find out how was she there, like the rock and roll one where she was the road girl, like the roadie who was selling the memorabilia.
Yeah,
like just like the random ways they weave her into these stories is hilarious.
I think it's really clever how they're able to really kind of back into the way that they've done it, because because the way you would think is like you would think the murder is happening and then she's coming in after and solving, but the murder is happening while she's there, like while she's in that town or in that area. It happened, like the whole plot of it. It's almost like it's almost what they do is they take the last 40 minutes of the first 20 minutes of the episode, they just remove her from every single shot almost, and they condense. It's almost like they take the meat of the episode,
exactly,
and just remove her and shrink it down and show us the murder, and then they go, okay, now let's take that 20 minutes we had and let's slide in all of the Charlie parts.
And it dawned on me on why they had to do it this way. She's not a cop. Why would she end up coming in and unless she's been there for a while, she would have no reason to ask questions about somebody.
Right, exactly.
B, if she hadn't been there for a while, no one would really know who she was, and if she's not a cop, they're not going to answer these questions.
But she doesn't really. She seems like the kind of person where I'm like, where she could just walk away.
True,
but she's not.
But and it always ends up being that like while she's there, she catches a lie. Like every episode, she's like, "You lied about that. I don't know why you lied about that, but you lied about that." And it's just we're gonna store that back here for a little bit.
I'm like, bitch, maybe a lie's just a lie. Like can you like why are you so involved? Like, can you just leave?
Like the episode where they're in the retirement home and the girls are using the restroom, and the girl goes, "She's got diarrhea," and she goes, "Bullshit. They're lying about shitting. I don't know why." But they lied about shitting.
But you don't need to know why. Just leave. Just do your shit and go. Like, you want to keep your job? I don't know. There's something wrong with it.
She's nosy.
But at a certain point, I was like, bitch, can you just stay at the fuck people's business?
She really is like a dog of a bone. She can't let it go.
Like, just get my fucking business. But regardless, every episode, like we said, has a new cast. The first one, I didn't really know anybody, but there was an episode we have Chloe Sevigny in here. Chloe Sevigny from Big Love, from tons of other stuff. We have fucking Judith Light. Who doesn't love Judith Light? Come on. We've got Cherry Jones, who also played. I believe she played a presidential candidate in 24. I don't know why always all roads to 24 for me. We have Ron Perlman, who pops up with his 80-year-old ass. We got, like we said, Benjamin Bratt. Who else is the big name?
Joseph Gordon-Levitt, that cutie. We got Ellen Barkin. Exactly. Nick Nolte. Like, out of the blue.
Tons of people just showing up out of nowhere for no reason whatsoever. So I thought that was one thing I kind of looked forward to. Is I was like, who?
The cast was great.
Yes. Who's going to be in this episode this time?
But that's where, and like I said, it gets very procedural, and you really don't see a lot of like why she's on the run from the first episode. You don't
see why. You just don't see any furthering of that.
Well, exactly. Yes. Like there's maybe out of 10 episodes, you hit continuations. What is going on with these notifications? I had these turned off earlier. Sorry, everybody. You see maybe 3 that had continuations of that first plot.
And out of the 3, 2 of them were at the very beginning. So you do kind of be like, it do be like sometimes.
It do be like, yes.
You do kind of figure out like at a certain point, I think maybe episode 6 or 7, I was like, is she still on the run? Like, where?
Yeah.
Like, is she still, like, did they forget about her? Like, what's happening? Like, you really, that's the one thing that kind of annoyed me, was like, if you're going to hit us with this plot, like, we need to see enough of it.
Okay, so my question, and I think you meant, and is early, did you finish the show?
Full disclosure, I didn't, but here's why. And I don't think me finishing it would have, like, altered my opinion, to be honest, because I didn't have power for days, you guys, and we didn't want to postpone this anymore. So I was like, you know what, I have a good enough opinion of this show to not see the end, and I don't think it would change my opinion of whether it's a watch or not.
So, and I'm not going to spoil any like funny parts, but the last episode 10.
Don't tell me anything.
No. Like it fills in kind of what you're hoping for, like the extra parts. It like the first little bit, like where you normally see the murder, it follows Benjamin Bratt.
Well, that's cute.
It shows what he's been doing this whole year.
That's cute.
Yeah, like it does pay off a little bit at the end.
I like that idea.
Yeah,
I like that idea. Great. I honestly, what's weird about this TV show though, because when we start talking about things like Bay of the Week,
exactly,
it really is
limited to one person.
Yeah, I mean, were there standout performances? I believe there were. Like, I really do. The one that stands out to me the most, honestly, really is not just because I love Judith Light, but that episode to me is the one that stood out the most because it was the one that was the most like where that was what halfway through the episode I was like, oh, she's gonna let them go.
Yeah,
like they had me going.
Yeah, I thought the same thing.
So that was one of the first ones that I think took like a different route a little bit. And then when we learn more, we're like, oh, now I get like it took a little bit. So I like that one. So if I was gonna not have Latasha Leone, I would have Judith Light and her counterpart.
I don't remember who her counterpart was.
I can picture her face.
Yeah,
but whoever played her counterpart, I would say those two because those two were hilarious and kind of terrifying. Like they were great.
So let me ask before, because I don't want to spoil too much of anything. Did you see? How far did you get in? What was the last episode you saw?
I didn't watch the last 2 or 3.
Okay, so Joseph Gordon-Levitt was the one right before the end. It had the best twist up to like the 30. So you see this murder happen, blah 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 blah, and then you see the Barracuda pull up. But when you see the Barracuda pull up, it's not Charlie getting out; it's somebody else, and then it pans down, and Charlie's the dead body.
Why are you?
That's that's
thanks.
That doesn't ruin anything.
Like this had a twist. Here's the twist.
No, it doesn't ruin anything. But like it has one of the best build-ups.
Just stop talking. Just stop talking.
You're very judgmental today.
You're very spoiler heavy today.
It was not spoiler.
It was a spoiler. I mean, to be fair, I should have just watched the whole show. I don't have to deal with this.
Exactly.
But I also didn't have control over my power situation. So
you're gonna like rest on your laurels with that one.
What?
You're just gonna rely like I didn't have power.
I didn't. What do you want me to say? Look, we having fun and we kikiing and shit right now, but don't make me get angry in here because I'll flip this whole fucking table.
Do you not have a phone?
I'll flip this.
Do you not have an iPad?
I don't have. What am I gonna do? Waste all my power and just to watch Poker Face? I'm gonna waste all my phone power to watch Poker Face, and then I'll be able to charge my phone. I will burn this fucking house down, but the dog's outside. So
thank you. Okay, at least the dogs are outside.
Mello and Lily do shit. Why should they suffer?
What about my wife?
That's you, huh?
What about my wife?
She can stand outside as well.
Okay, fair enough.
Meet outside. When you're in elementary school. When
Catch me outside.
Remember when you had elementary school? You had your spot. You had to meet outside. Like everybody had to meet outside at a certain spot
for the fire drill. Yeah.
Do y'all have a spot?
I mean, kind of.
See, when the shit burned down, they gonna know where to meet. They gonna be all out of sorts. They don't know where to go. Regardless, Natasha Leone is Bay of the Week. Get your fucking fingers off this shit. Can I do something? Can I press the button? Like you never let me press. You never let me press anything.
Normally you are here. You were up here today.
Don't try to tell me where I'm at. I'm where I want to be. I'm where I should be. Let me go on my own journey.
Oh my
okay?
God.
God, I can't do shit in here. But she is like honestly the reason I watch this show is because of Natasha Leone.
Exactly.
The reason I kept watching the show is because of Natasha Leone.
Yeah.
And that fucking voice and that hair. I'm like, what is this hair?
She does a great job.
I'm like, can she comb that? Can we get a hot comb?
Does she wash it? Is the question.
Relevant question.
Yes.
Does she wash that shit? It does not look washed.
It is a rat's nest.
It's dusty. It's dusty.
I thought it was a wig because there's a couple times where she scratched it and like the whole thing moved. I was like, it's got to be a wig.
It's just teased. I don't know.
It's bad.
But I really did like, even though every episode I was like, bitch, mind your fucking business. I really liked like, I think this could be like a cool series if they find like a really cool way to do like a season 2. I don't know how
they do. They said it for season 2,
but I think I'm stumbling into my watch or not. I
no,
think that I really enjoyed the show. I think it gets a little redundant. Yes, I was really hoping that, and maybe there is, I just don't know it. But I was really hoping maybe there was an episode where somebody does murder someone, but it's accidental, or maybe it's like warranted, and she's like, "Nope, I'm not gonna turn you in." Like I was hoping for like a twist like that. Doesn't I don't know if one of those happens.
Yeah.
But just to kind of break up the monotony of it being like murder happens, she's in there, she figures it out, it's over. But I was compelled enough by some of the stories and how they're writing these murders.
Yeah.
That's kind of what kept me entertained, was really the writing and her. So I think it's a watch. I'm gonna finish it, and I'll actually be really happy to see season 2.
So I'm gonna go watch as well. First off, like we've said multiple times, just for the cast alone.
Yeah.
Like it's weird the way I'm gonna say this. Like, the casting was amazing.
I just thought of that one guy.
Which one?
In the first one, where she was putting she was putting something on like his leg or something.
Super glue
on his leg, and she was just like trying to like push them together. And then she says bye, and he gets up and he's got a boner and he's trying to hide it. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Did you see that?
Yeah.
I just thought about that guy. I don't know why. Sorry.
But yeah, so casting was great. They had just random people you don't expect to see, just episode after episode after episode. The fact that they never really repeated a story, like the plot points, like show murder, introduce her, solve, like yes, that was very repetitive, but they never repeated the story. And it never even seemed like they were stepping on the toes of any other episode. Every episode was its own individual.
Yeah, I'll agree. Yeah.
The cinematography was great. The length of the episodes is probably my only complaint.
They're a little long.
You could have shortened that a little bit. Maybe add a little extra continuation of like the first plot where like why she's on the run. Like fill that in a little bit more. But I'm gonna go with a watch. It was very entertaining. The last two, I think, were the best episodes after the retirement home one.
Okay.
The last one did pay off a lot and kind of filled in, and we're like, okay, after seeing this, I can kind of get behind it.
Yeah. It's a different kind of procedural. It's not your mom's procedural.
But the way they set it for season 2, it's going to be a lot of the same in the season 2. Like
I would assume.
Yeah.
But maybe they'll be. I would hope that they do it. But because there's obviously a clever writing team behind this.
Yes.
So I hope they find ways to keep the core of what they do, but also make it kind of fresh.
So
it's what I hope.
Again, and that, without you having seen the last one, I'm not going to talk about it. But like, it sets up to be very similar to how the first season is.
I think similar is fine, but the individual episodes themselves, I hope they find ways to make those kind of fresh and new and different.
And I like it's almost like an anthology series. The fact that each episode is a standalone and there's no real continuation to it.
Yeah.
And I like the fact that they're all individual episodes. I like that. But I'm gonna go for watch. Now there are some episodes where I could be like, you could skip that. It doesn't really pay off anything. Probably should watch this one. Out of the 10,
I'd say watch each, because I do think that. Because there is a different murder, and there is the interesting part is really figuring out how
what's going to trigger her to like figure it out.
Right. I think that can become its own little drinking game. Like is it too late? Like, okay, we've watched the murder.
Yeah.
How do we think Charlie fits into this? What part? What do we think is going to be the catalyst that starts this? Like, where do we think they're going to go wrong? Like that might be kind of cool.
I like that. That's a good idea.
Like, I mean, and I guess they kind of do, like, some of the differences are really subtle. Like, the race car episode, sorry, I keep going into it.
Yeah.
The race car episode, to me, a lot of the others, it took her, like, she was kind of onto it kind of quickly. And that one was one where it took a really long time for her to get to it, because they were very strategic with the way they said things. Or they said things that were true, but, like, half true.
It was a long walk for a short drink, like a small glass of water kind of thing. Like they took a long time to lead her to where it needed to be.
Right. It was very like, that one was the one where I was like, she didn't really get it automatically. She couldn't figure, she was really like being bounced around. She couldn't figure out where the lie was.
Yeah.
But she knew there was a lie. So,
Well, again, I think the one of Joseph Gordon-Levitt was one of my favorites. I really recommend you watching.
JGL.
And then I just love Simon Helberg's role, the guy who played Howard in Big Bang in this show. He ends up being witness protection FBI. He was in the
I didn't watch
retirement
Big Bang
home
because I never want to.
But fair enough. But yes, he does really well. I like him in this role.
Will not be watching Big Bang Theory
That's
ever
fine.
in my life.
Okay.
I would burn the Masters if I could.
Whoa.
I wouldn't. I don't care enough.
But yeah, so watch from both of us for this one. I wasn't expecting that. I thought you were gonna go with not watch.
No, I think I'm annoyed, but I was annoyed with like the proceduralness of it all. But I still recognize that it's a really, really great show. Mm-hmm. It's really, really well done. It's a really great vehicle for Natasha Lyonne and her weirdness. Like this, it almost felt like this was written for her.
Did you watch the one with Nick Nolte and Cherry?
No.
She wrote and directed that one.
Great, good for her. You know, like that sounded sarcastic. I meant it.
Like Natasha Lyonne like actually steps in like writing some of these too.
I mean, I meant it. That sounded sarcastic.
Yeah.
I didn't mean for it to. Like, I mean, good for her.
Okay.
You know.
Fair enough.
You know.
Kong Kong.
Too many times.
It just makes me laugh.
It diminished returns.
We're not getting ROE. What? Or ROI, return on investment.
What?
ROI.
I'm not a finance major.
Fair enough.
Hi, guys. So make sure you guys tune in on Wednesday for our recap of the season finale of The Last of Us.
Yep.
Yes. Excited about that one.
I'm looking forward to watching that.
Yeah, I am too. I want to see how they end it. And are we going to have an episode the week after that? We'll let you guys know.
I was going to say, I haven't talked to you about that.
We'll see.
Okay.
We'll let you know.
Yeah.
Stay on your toes. We're keeping it light and airy over here.
Yeah. Again,
I am. I don't know about him. Serious and shit.
We'll post on our socials if we're not having one.
Yeah, we definitely will. All right. So we'll talk to you guys on Wednesday. Bye.
Bye. I don't know why you do jazz hands every single time.
These are not spear fingers. These are spear fingers. And these are cold. God, I need to watch that movie. It's time. It's time to watch Bring It On.
All right. Bye. You've been listening to Watch or Not with Jay and MJ.
Interact and give us suggestions on what to watch at watchornotpodcast@gmail.com.
You can follow us on Twitter at watchornot_pod.
And don't forget about Instagram, you guys, at watchornotpod.
Don't forget you can support the pod by joining our Patreon at Watch or Not with Jay and MJ.
And subscribe and leave a review wherever you guys listen to podcasts. Talk to you soon.